Continuous improvement fails without psychological safety. Many organizations say they want improvement. They ask employees to report problems. They encourage suggestions. They talk about innovation, accountability, and learning. But when someone points out a recurring failure, questions a bad standard, admits a mistake, or challenges a manager's decision, the reaction is often negative. The person may be ignored, blamed, embarrassed, seen as difficult, or quietly punished. When this happens, people learn an important lesson. Stay silent. And once silence becomes normal, continuous improvement becomes impossible. Because no process improves when employees are afraid to speak. In this video, we will examine why psychological safety is essential for sustainable continuous improvement, how fear blocks operational learning, and how Lean Six Sigma can help organizations create environments where problems are surfaced early instead of hidden. This is the 7th episode of Modern Lean Six Sigma: Hidden Failures in Operational Excellence. Psychological safety does not mean comfort all the time. It does not mean low standards. It does not mean avoiding accountability. And it does not mean everyone must agree. Psychological safety means that people feel safe to speak honestly about work. They can ask questions. They can admit uncertainty. They can report mistakes. They can challenge a weak process. They can raise concerns before a problem becomes a failure. And they can do all of this without fear of humiliation, retaliation, or unfair blame. In operations, this matters because processes are never perfect. Variation happens. Unexpected conditions appear. Standards become outdated. Information arrives incomplete. Machines behave differently. Customer needs change. If employees do not feel safe to reveal these realities, the organization loses access to the truth. And without truth, there is no improvement. One of the greatest dangers in low-safety environments is that the operation may appear stable while serious problems remain hidden. Reports look normal. Meetings are quiet. Managers hear few complaints. Escalations are rare. At first, this may seem like control. But silence does not always mean the process is healthy. Sometimes it means employees have decided that speaking up is not worth the risk. An operator notices a recurring defect but says nothing because previous concerns were dismissed. A technician sees that a machine is becoming unstable but delays reporting it because production pressure is high. A supervisor knows the standard is unrealistic but keeps the team using workarounds because questioning the process creates conflict. A customer service employee sees a pattern in complaints but avoids escalation because management focuses only on response speed. The organization believes it has discipline. What it really has is suppressed information. And suppressed information is dangerous because it delays learning until the problem becomes too large to ignore. Continuous improvement begins when a problem becomes visible. Not just statistically visible, humanly visible. Someone notices waste. Someone identifies a risk. Someone admits that the process is not working as intended. Someone says, "This step creates confusion. This standard no longer reflects reality. This target is driving the wrong behavior. This defect is happening more often. This customer issue is repeating." These observations are the raw material of improvement. Without them, teams are limited to the problems already visible in dashboards, audits, or financial reports. But many operational issues appear first in the experience of the people doing the work. That is why psychological safety is not separate from lean thinking. It supports lean thinking. Gemba observation, root cause analysis, Kaizen, standard work improvement, problem solving, and daily management all depend on honest input from the people closest to the process. If people fear the consequences of speaking, the organization loses one of its most important sources of knowledge. Employees usually do not become silent for no reason. Silence is learned. It often comes from repeated experiences such as being blamed for reporting a problem, being ignored after raising a concern, seeing leaders react defensively, watching other employees get embarrassed in meetings, being told to focus only on output, receiving conflicting messages like, "Report problems, but do not slow production. Challenge the process, but do not question authority. Take initiative, but do not make mistakes." Over time, employees learn what is truly rewarded. If speed matters more than honesty, they protect speed. If appearance matters more than reality, they protect appearance. If leaders want good news more than accurate news, people deliver good news. This is not only a cultural problem. It is a system problem. Behavior follows consequences. When speaking up creates risk, silence becomes rational. A blame culture may produce short-term compliance, but it damages long-term learning. When every problem becomes a search for the guilty person, employees stop treating failure as information. Instead, they treat failure as a threat. This changes behavior immediately. People hide errors. Data is adjusted. Exceptions are not reported. Minor issues remain local until they become major issues. The organization then sees fewer reported problems and may incorrectly conclude that improvement is occurring. In reality, visibility is decreasing. Lean Six Sigma requires a different mindset. When a deviation occurs, the first question should not always be, "Who caused this?" The better starting questions are, "What happened? What conditions allowed it? What in the process made this failure possible? Was the standard clear? Was the workload realistic? Was the training sufficient? Was the equipment capable? Was the information complete?" Individual accountability still matters. But if the organization reacts to every problem with blame, it will never see the full system. And if it cannot see the system, it cannot improve it. Psychological safety is often described as a cultural issue, but it has direct operational consequences. It improves quality because employees report defects, variation, and weak controls earlier. It improves safety because people are more willing to speak up about hazards, near misses, and unsafe conditions. It improves flow because teams reveal bottlenecks, workarounds, missing information, and unrealistic process steps. It improves problem solving because meetings become more honest. It improves standardization because employees are more willing to admit that the documented process does not match reality. It also improves learning speed. A psychologically safe team does not wait for perfect evidence before raising a concern. People surface weak signals early. This makes correction easier and cheaper. In that sense, psychological safety is not a soft alternative to performance. It is a condition that supports better performance. A fearful team may look disciplined. A psychologically safe team is more likely to become truly capable. Psychological safety is strongly influenced by leadership behavior. Employees watch how leaders react when bad news appears. Do they ask questions or assign blame immediately? Do they listen fully or interrupt defensively? Do they thank people for raising concerns or treat them as obstacles? Do they investigate the process or attack the person? Do they punish transparency more than failure? These moments shape the culture. A leader may say that openness is important. But if the first response to a reported issue is irritation, sarcasm, or personal criticism, employees will remember the reaction, not the message. Leaders do not create psychological safety through posters or slogans. They create it through repeated behavior. Simple actions matter. Asking, "What are we missing? What is making this process harder than it should be? Where are people using workarounds? What problem are we afraid to discuss?" These questions signal that honesty is welcome. Leaders should also respond constructively when someone reports a problem. The person who reveals a weakness should be seen as helping the organization, not threatening it. Some managers resist this topic because they assume psychological safety means being permissive. It does not. A strong improvement culture needs both safety and accountability. People should feel safe to speak. They should also be expected to think, learn, and follow disciplined processes. A mature environment says, you can report problems. You can challenge assumptions. You can admit mistakes. And once the issue is visible, we will work seriously to understand it and improve the system. This is different from saying that every behavior is acceptable. A team can maintain high standards while also creating safety. In fact, the combination is powerful. Low safety and high pressure create fear. High safety and low standards create comfort without performance. But high safety and high standards create learning. That is the environment where sustainable continuous improvement becomes possible. Lean Six Sigma already contains several practices that can strengthen psychological safety when used correctly. Jimbo walks should be used to understand work, not to intimidate employees. Daily management meetings should surface abnormal conditions, not punish the people who report them. Root cause analysis should focus on causes and conditions, not only on individual fault. Standard work reviews should invite operational feedback. Kaizen events should include the people who actually perform the work. Control plans should make problems visible early, so teams can respond before pressure becomes emotional. Data also helps. When a discussion is grounded in evidence, employees may feel safer raising issues because the conversation becomes less personal and more process-focused. But even the best tools fail if the environment is unsafe. A fishbone diagram does not help if people are afraid to mention the real cause. A Pareto chart does not help if recurring problems are never reported. A control chart does not help if abnormal signals are ignored because no one wants conflict. The tools matter, but the willingness to tell the truth matters first. Organizations do not create psychological safety in one workshop. It is built through daily habits. First, leaders must respond well to bad news. Bad news should be treated as useful information. Second, teams should normalize discussion of errors, obstacles, and uncertainty. Third, questions should be rewarded, not interpreted as weakness. Fourth, problem-solving meetings should focus on the process, not personal attack. Fifth, employee suggestions should receive visible follow-up. Nothing destroys engagement faster than asking for ideas and doing nothing with them. Sixth, standards should be reviewed with the people doing the work. This signals that reality matters. Seventh, organizations should distinguish between acceptable human error, risky behavior, and intentional negligence. Not every failure belongs in the same category. Finally, leaders should model vulnerability. When managers can say, "I may be missing something. Let's test that assumption. I was wrong about that decision." They give others permission to be honest. This does not weaken authority. It strengthens trust. A company can implement lean tools. It can train employees in DMAIC. It can create dashboards, standards, visual management boards, and improvement projects. But if employees are afraid to speak, much of that effort will remain superficial. The process may improve in visible areas, but hidden waste, recurring defects, weak standards, and operational risks will remain buried beneath the surface. Sustainable continuous improvement requires more than methods. It requires honest voices. People must be able to say, "This process is failing. This step creates confusion. This target is creating the wrong behavior. This machine is unstable. This customer issue is repeating. This standard no longer works." These are not signs of negativity. They are signs that the organization still has access to reality. And reality is the starting point of improvement. Continuous improvement fails without psychological safety because improvement depends on truth. Problems must be seen. Errors must be admitted. Standards must be questioned. Weaknesses must be discussed before they become failures. When people are afraid to speak, the organization may continue operating, but it will improve more slowly, learn less effectively, and discover problems too late. Psychological safety is not a soft luxury. It is an operational requirement for any company that wants sustainable improvement. If you want people to solve problems, they must be able to name them. If you want employees to improve the process, they must be free to describe the real process. And if you want continuous improvement to last, leaders must create an environment where honesty is safer than silence. Because no company becomes excellent by hiding its problems. It becomes excellent by making them visible, understanding their causes, and improving the system together. In the next episode, we will examine how real-time data can help organizations predict bottlenecks before they stop production. Subscribe to the channel and continue exploring the hidden failures in operational excellence.